Okay, now we're going to learn how to input matrix by the user in the easy way by using for loop. Alright, now before I give an example, I'll just strengthen your knowledge on matrices. Now let's say we have a 3 by 3 matrix, and I'll just write down the coordinates: 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. Alright, when we ask the user to enter a matrix, it's usually row by row. Now what stays constant? You see the first part here, it's always 0 in the beginning. What changes is the column 0, 1, 2, an increment by 1 always. But the row stays constant. Same goes for this. 1 is always in front, only the column changes. Now how do we deal with that? I will write the code right now and explain it step by step. Hash include stdio.h int main. Now let's first create the matrix. We use mat A as a 5 by 5 matrix. Okay, now next we use a for loop. For int I is equals to 0, I must be smaller than 5, and I plus plus. These are semicolons. I plus plus. Now we're going to use a nested loop. Alright, so first we go printf, enter row number %d. So we take it from I plus 1. I'll further explain this later. Then for int j equals to 0, j is smaller than 5, and j plus plus. Sorry about the semicolon, it's not supposed to appear behind there. Okay, the for in here it's scanf %f. Sorry about that. Comma. Then you're going to put it into matrix A I J. Close the curly brace. Then printf \n, close the huge curly brace. Then okay, I'll explain what this does. Okay, first you created a matrix that is a 5 by 5 matrix, which has nothing at all, nothing inside. You can input your own data in it. So for I equals to 0, I smaller than 5, and I plus plus. Now this I'm using it over here, which means rows. How many rows do I have in a 5 by 5 matrix? I have 5 rows. Now why do I say lesser than 5, which means 4? 4 doesn't mean 4 rows. From 0 to 4, it's 5 rows. That's why, because I started from 0, not 1. Now let's do a dry run. First, when we enter in this for loop, I is equals to 0. Then enter row number %d, I plus 1. So the next, let me draw a screen here. I think I'll draw a screen over here. It might look a bit messy, I'm sorry. Okay, now enter row number %d. Now what is this number? It's equals to I plus 1. Now the reason why I didn't put I is because you'll be asking the user to enter row number 0, which is unsensible. So I put a plus 1 there. So 0 plus 1 equals to 1. You're asking the user to enter row number 1 of the matrix. Now next, j is equal to 0. J is equal to 0. And you come in here, you scanf. The user enters a number, 2.6. It goes into mat A, ij. I and j are both 0 and 0. So it enters 2.6. 2.6 will be here. Now next, it will loop again because it's a nested loop. In here, j is lesser than 5. So j plus plus, j is now equals to 1. J is now equals to 1. So scanf, the user enters, let's say, 9.6. And it goes into mat A, 0, 1. 0, 1 is here. 9.6. Then it goes on and on again until j reaches 5. When j is 5, the condition, it's out of the condition already. So it goes to the next line. It prints f a return line. But I is equal to 0. So I plus plus, I becomes 1. I becomes 1. Then enters again, enter row number. 1 plus 1 is 2, so enter row number 2. Now we're in the second row. And next, when we come into this for loop, j becomes 0 again. And right now, j is 0 again. We repeat the same thing. It's going to fill up this row, then fill up this row, and fill up this row. 5 rows will be filled up until it leaves this whole thing. Now take some time to understand it. Probably compile this in a compiler and run it a few times. Check and see if you really understand this, because this is quite complicated using nested for loops. Now I assume that if you're a first-time programmer, this will probably take you some time. But just remember, why j becomes 0 again is because this is the initialization part. J becomes 0 when you enter this for loop again. Now why doesn't I become 0 again? Reason is because it's still within this for loop. It's still within this big outer for loop. So it didn't actually re-enter this for loop, it just came up again. But for this second for loop, it re-entered it. So initialize, j is equal to 0. J is 0. So I hope you'll just do some tests on this one, probably do some research by yourself, and see if you understand it. And now in the next video, let's see if I have enough time. Yeah, in the next video, I'll teach you on how to display matrices without using the conventional method.